Hello everyone and welcome. In this lesson we are going to discuss the differences between Facebook profiles and Facebook pages. One of the biggest questions that we hear regularly from people is whether or not they should use a regular Facebook profile or a Facebook business page for their business. So let's first start off with a Facebook profile. That's what we are looking at right here. This is a Facebook profile of mine, and basically a profile is meant to be a personal activity log. This is stuff that you share from your personal life, whether it be photos of you, photos of the projects that you work on, pictures of your car, and so forth. Here on the left you have things like your personal information. For instance, I have here a brief introduction about me. You can see my job here. Where do I live? You can find the photos that I have uploaded on my Facebook profile, my list of friends, and that kind of thing. And overall, you can see here that this is not something that you would consider to be business related. Also, the relationship between a personal profile and other people on Facebook is completely different than that of a Facebook business page or Facebook fan page, as you might have heard of it before. When you are looking at a profile like this, you have the ability to add this profile as a friend, and the friendship implies in an implicit connection between you and that person. Obviously, you wouldn't want to be friends with a business. You wouldn't want to be friends with a brand. Necessarily, you might want to follow a brand, keep up with what they are doing, but you guys aren't friends. You are not hanging out on the weekend or something like that. So the Facebook profile is actually just meant for your normal everyday life of you, the person running the Facebook page. As a matter of fact, Facebook has strict guidelines in place that prohibit you from actually using a Facebook profile in a promotional sense. The question is, why is that? Well, because it's more likely that your activity is going to show up in other people's news feeds, for one thing, and another thing is because it is just not what this is meant for. So my recommendation is to never use a Facebook profile for your business. Always use a Facebook page. So with that said, let's now explore a Facebook page. I will go to this place and click and select this page. This is actually my page. So as you can see here, this is my personal Facebook page that I set aside mostly so that I could keep business and personal activity completely separate on the Facebook ecosystem. This allows me to have a public-facing profile about me or about my brand in this case, and also still have a personal profile where I can interact with my friends, family, and share personal private things. But this is actually where I share things like beginners tutorials, new courses for my students. I share overviews about my new courses as well. I share tips and tricks about working with 3D and graphic design softwares, and I have lots and lots of tutorials that I do about various software products and things like that. Now, just be aware that people that are my friends on my personal Facebook profile, chances are they are not into this kind of stuff. But my audience or my students that watches my courses and tutorials, they probably are. So I wanted to separate those two worlds and create a Facebook page for my business and also a completely separate Facebook profile for my personal activity log and normal everyday life of me. You have to have, of course, some sort of personal account on Facebook in order to create a Facebook page like the one we have here, because somebody actually has to administer that page. Now, you don't necessarily have to post anything on that page as yourself. You don't even have to let people know that you are the one being the admin behind it. All you have to do is use your account to set it up. Everything else is private. Nobody is gonna know where your profile is. They're not gonna know who your friends are. They're not gonna be able to contact those people. They're not gonna be able to do any of that stuff. They're not gonna be able to see the photos of your vacation or anything like that. Everything is just locked into this page. Okay? They can like the page, of course, which just means, hey, I want to follow this entity on Facebook. We are not friends. We are not hanging out. I'm not going to see any other photos or anything like that. I just want to follow what they are doing. I like their product or services. Okay? So you can follow the pages on Facebook from here. So these are two completely separate platforms. Really, you have the personal side of Facebook and the business side of Facebook. This course is all about the business side of Facebook. So hopefully now you have a better understanding of the differences between Facebook profiles and pages and why you would want to use one versus the other. Let's now move on to the next lesson and discuss the various types of Facebook pages and see why you would want to choose each one of them.